Welcome everybody to a new edition of the 3 count of the Harvard Show Extreme Rules. We have a nice, fun-packed 7 matches for you, with only 3 of them stipulated matches, and the 4th waiting for the night of.
Great booking, guys. Great booking. Phenomenal booking.
This is something they ran into because they have a lot of people like either kayfabe hurt or really hurt that the roster's been trimmed down now. Also because some people have tested positive as well, adds to the list of injured list. So they had to condense it, and apparently from what I heard is they're telling wrestlers, okay, you're 7 matches, you're not going to be constrained to like 5 minutes. There's no squash matches pretty much. There's going to be some long matches going on here. Yeah, because they don't know what else to put on the card. So we got 7 matches. They're going to be long. Yeah. So let's start with the first match of the night. What I believe is going to be the first one is Apollo Crews versus MVP for the United States title. Benny, what are your thoughts on the new title and this match?
I've already given my thoughts on the new title. Somebody asked me to rate it out of 1 to 10. I said negative 15 billion. I don't like it at all. But like I said, that's not my choice. I have a specific type of idea when it comes to how belts should look, and I don't think they should look like that. But that being said, this match is honestly to set up SummerSlam in my eyes. This is not going to be what you're going to get. Is you're going to get MVP. Kind of. I'm not going to say carrying Apollo Crews, but you're going to notice that match is going to be a lot better because of the fact you have a vet like MVP in the ring with Apollo Crews, and he's going to do his best to put Apollo Crews over and make him look good going into SummerSlam, in which the match is going to be Crews versus Lashley for that U.S. title. So I got Crews going over in this one, but I do believe the match is going to be a really good one.
What are your
I agree. I definitely I don't hate the belt. I'm like the only person I know that doesn't hate the belt. Like, the more I look at it, the more I like it, actually. The more I get used to it, the more I like it. And it looks a lot better than the paperweight ECW level championship that they had before, that Apollo Crews still has. And I just hope that, at first I think Apollo Crews is going to win. But I do agree with you, Benny. I do believe it is to set up a bigger feud at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's Apollo and Lashley anymore because of the fact that they're trying to integrate Ricochet and Cedric Alexander into it. So I don't really know what that portion of it, and I think that portion is key because they could either split them up and one go heel, one go face, or they could both turn heel, or they could both still be faces. Like, I don't really know what the plan is, because based on what they said on Raw Talk, it seems like after this whole thing is done, they want to get into the Raw Tag Team title race, which could definitely use some more tag teams.
Of course. Especially considering the fact that I haven't seen the Street Profits in a couple of weeks. Like,
D'Angelo Hawkins just had a kid. That's why.
That too.
He like just had a kid like 2 weeks ago. So I understand why they're not on TV at the moment. I just don't actually remember who has the tag titles right now. Like, that should tell you everything. They still have the tag titles?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, that says everything you need to know right there. But, yeah, I do believe that there's going to be something bigger at SummerSlam, but I can't tell you what. Like, I don't see the long-term booking here, but I do think that Apollo Crews does come away, and he keeps the new title, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Benny. I don't like that new title. I don't like it. Like I said, the Eagle looks like he's wearing Macho Man glasses from certain angles. And I'm ready for it to come out and say, oh, yeah. I'm sorry, but yeah, I just don't like that belt. It just, like I said, if the bottom part where the stripes are at they put the flag there, lower the size on where it says champion and actually smaller, and then make it bigger where it says United States, then I'd be fine with it. Maybe the eagle, I don't know, I'm feeling it, take it out completely, or maybe make it smaller. But just the way it looks, I'm just like, nah, I'm not feeling it because it just looks like it says champion. You have to like kind of squint your eyes for United States, you know.
Mm-hmm. I barely read champion. I have to like when I see the title up front is when I see the writing. I don't see the writing. I just saw a lot of gold.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, well, it looks better than the paperweight title that just says like it looks like somebody made it at like a Xerox company or something.
Yeah, like I said, my thing about it is like a championship. It just to me looks like it just looks obnoxious more so than anything else.
Right.
Because it's one of those things where I could see them in their board meeting and they said, all right, what do you think describes America or the United States the best? And somebody said, in your face. And they was just like, all right, let's go with it. And it was just like, bam, champion, just as big as obnoxious in the front of everything as humanly possible. I'm just like, dude, you're champion on there? That word is bigger than the WWE title. Stop it.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Who you got, Paul?
I got Apollo. There's no way he's gonna lose to MVP. MVP is not supposed to be carrying the belt. He's supposed to be creating his own stable, as we all know. So I got Apollo on this one. It's unanimous. We all got Apollo on this one. That's why I see it. I could probably see a setup at the end, maybe for Bobby or a new member coming out for his stable. I have a feeling it's not going to end as a clean one.
Mm-hmm.
I have it. I think what's going to happen is Apollo's going to win by disqualification for interference from the outside, and that's set up the new feud for whoever is going to be part of the new stable for MVP. Because you have to have something.
Yeah.
You can't just end it. I don't think you want to just bury MVP like that. You know.
Well, I mean, there aren't a lot of black wrestlers to choose from, and I'm assuming MVP wants more or less black wrestlers in his stable.
That's what it's looking like.
There isn't a lot to choose from here at this point, especially in terms of single stars.
Right.
Unless you're gonna hit me with like Isaiah Swerve Scott gets called up or something like that. Like
I got one for you. Somebody's in the back ain't doing jack, and he's worthy of getting some limelight, spotlight on him. You keep Cedric and Ricochet where they're at, tilting on whether they're going to join him or not. Have Shelton Benjamin join him.
That's fair. That's actually pretty.
I like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like that because he's literally not doing anything else.
And you need that kind of. You need that kind of.
I find it funny, though. My bad, Jay. But did you notice the shift that just happened with the U.S. title? How for the longest with the last couple of months or whatever, all of the Latino wrestlers were feuding over this title, and now all the blacks are.
It keeps people from complaining about the fact that black people don't get opportunities, even though
now. No, I just find it funny that the U.S. title is now like the minority belt.
I mean, I think it's more about the fact that there aren't any minority main eventers at this point. Outside, like the only one that was even close to it was Bobby, but I think it's just getting those guys some shine. Like I found out yesterday too that Naomi was actually trending because of that last segment that they had.
Oh
she was like number 20 in the world on Twitter.
Oh yeah, because she was hot, and she was rightfully so.
Oh, yeah. Not even that. People came to her defense and was like posting a bunch of her matches and a bunch of like, how you gonna not push Naomi when she got the biggest pop at the last Royal Rumble? And I forgot about that. And then somebody had the video. I was like, yo, her pop was crazy.
Yep.
When she came back for Royal Rumble and she came out with her natural hair and everything, like, bro, she's already over. It's just the fact of you can't tell who's over, who's not because there's no fans.
There's nobody there.
So it's like, I like how it's the same way they got Daniel Bryan over, the same way they got the Women's Revolution over. Like now the fans are pushing to get Naomi over, which I think is dope. But I also wish they would do something with like someone like Bianca Belair, who is still just sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, and apparently they brought her back for that match only because what happened? Something happened with
Because they can't figure out what to do with Liv Morgan. That's why.
yeah.
I think Liv may have COVID or come into contact with someone with COVID because Liv's been posting like these cryptic messages again, but she's home.
Mm-hmm.
So
hopefully, like this time, it'll actually lead to something because it looked like they were trying to do a Riot Squad reunion with her, with
yeah,
Ruby always getting beat down by the Iconics, and then they ended up bringing Bianca Belair back there, but that was it.
yeah, something happened with Liv. Don't really know what it is though.
Yeah, something
I
happened.
don't know.
It's supposed to be. I can't remember what happened with that. There was a reason behind it. Can't remember why. And that's what they threw Bianca in there because like, we can't use Liv for whatever reason. And, oh, Bianca, can I do anything? They left her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next match, New Day versus Cesaro Nakamura in a tables match.
Honestly, I think it's Cesaro Nakamura. I think they're finally going to take the titles off of New Day.
Here's what's funny. So last night they had their match, and if the winner decides stipulation, beginning of the show, the promo, Nakamura and Cesaro were like, yeah, we're gonna do what's like a steel cage match this and that, whatever. I think they won. I can't remember. Yeah, they won, and they're like, oh, we want a tables match. Why? Like, it makes no sense. Like, why would you have them talk about a cage match and then they win and they're like, oh, no, forget it. We're gonna do a tables match.
Because probably as much as it is 7 matches on the card and they're gonna have time, this match is probably gonna have the least amount of time. And a tables match is the easiest way to finish off a title reign because it could happen by accident.
Yeah, the other thing is
keep the New Day strong, and then have Nakamura and Cesaro keep going with the titles.
the other thing is the situation inside the Performance Center itself. How much space above the ring do you actually have for the cage?
You have a lot of low ceilings, so.
I hear you.
Jay, look like you in the Blair Witch Project right now, yo.
It's annoying. Like, why even bring it up? Just bring up something else.
Yeah, it's I don't understand. I really don't understand.
Jay, who you got on that one?
I had Cesaro and Nakamura actually winning the titles.
Benny, who you
I
got?
think we got.
I don't know where they're gonna go with these tag titles because the tag team pickings on SmackDown are so thin. It's actually laughable because I cannot name any tag teams on SmackDown right now. With the Usos out, like I don't know who else is there.
Yeah, I don't know who else is there besides those three. Like who else is on? And they created Nakamura and Cesaro just for this.
Yeah, but what's funny, every time they need for the New Day to drop the teams, that they drop the titles to.
I think we lost Jay.
I think
Yeah, I think we lost him. You still there though, Paul, right?
I'm still here. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because I'm looking down in the corner. His signal is shot right now. That's just straight turn red.
I was gonna say you guys froze.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That was all you, buddy. It was all you.
Like both of y'all opinions. Cool.
Anyway, in my opinion, this is Cesaro and Nakamura just because of the fact that I don't think they would have actually introduced them as a tag team if they weren't going to take the belt. So on top of the fact, the New Day at this point is kind of sort of, I want to say, unfazable. So it's like you can't necessarily, unless you're going to sit up there and make it like with them turning it inside like a breakup angle because of it, which I doubt because they move too much merch. Them losing doesn't do anything.
Not even that.
At least it doesn't do anything to hurt them, I should say.
And at this point, no, they're placeholders up until Xavier Woods comes back because this whole hiatus proves that, yes, you can keep going without Xavier Woods, but you can't go more than 6 months without Xavier Woods in the New Day. Because you can lose Big E. You can lose Kofi. You can't lose Woods.
No.
This proves it. You can't lose
Okay,
Woods.
he is so much life to the New Day.
Like, you can have Xavier Woods and any of the other two, and he can get them over. He can get them great work. Like, Big E can work amazing with Xavier Woods. Big E can work amazing with Kofi, but Big E and Kofi by themselves, it's too much frantic energy and not enough focus.
The other thing, and honestly, part of this, as far as in ring goes, is they've done so much to diminish Kofi since he lost the championship that it's kind of sort of like he's fallen all the way back down the card, like to the point where he is like lower mid card at this point.
Yeah,
Crazy.
like he'd be. If we're talking old school, he'd probably be somewhere in like the European hardcore title ranking somewhere.
I'd put it hardcore. I'd slot him hard.
I mean, honestly, Kofi with the 24/7 title wouldn't be terrible.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Funny. It wouldn't surprise me, and I think it'd actually be kind of funny. But like, it's kind of sad, almost, because I get it. But at the same time, it's like you didn't have to kill Kofi. Like, you didn't have to kill the Kofi momentum. But I also understand that, like, you had to remove him from the world title picture to a degree.
That's a problem because of the fact, okay, Kofi's always been good. And then he did his thing when Mustafa Ali got hurt. So obviously he got a push from the fans. The problem is everybody's always been trying to find that black athlete to push to stardom. He caught like a rocket ship and just went off because the fans just loved. Apparently, somehow the fans just realized Kofi existed. I don't know how they finally realized
You had to realize, like, because again, Kofi's been that guy that he's kind of like, he's kind of like Kane in that way. Where it's like he's always just there, and at certain points in history, he's like the guy. Where it's like, oh my god, like he's really gonna do it. It's like when they put the WWE title on Kane, and it was like, oh, okay, I can believe this. But how many times did Kane actually win a world title and was like a world champion?
Where I'm going,
it feels like it's been longer.
Yeah, where I'm going is you have other black athletes in there with push. And you can make them believable champions. You know what I mean? They can be believable.
Right.
Just Vince doesn't want to do it.
No, I mean, because he doesn't know how to book black athletes. That's really what it comes down to. It's him and his people don't know how to book black people. He doesn't. If it's not a racist angle or it's not something that's overly stereotypical, he can't book a black athlete. Because everything he does is like, if you do it too serious, then it's racist. If you do it too comical, then it's racist. Like, you have to find a middle ground to do it, and you have to put them with the right people to do it. And for some reason, every other organization has figured out how to do it except for Vince.
You know what the funny thing is,
in
though,
AEW, but I mean,
AEW still
figuring it out.
So it's like, they are another one that doesn't have a predominant black athlete that you can push to the moon, but AEW also is still new and they're still adding pieces. So you won't expect them to have a black champion off the rip. But at this point, who would it even be? Like, there's no one out in the outside the WWE bubble that is a world championship caliber, you know, that has the trifecta that can be the face of your company.
The only one that's
like outside of, like, if you look at Jay Lethal 10 years ago, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. He's past his prime right now. So I can't really say him because he's past his prime right now. 10 years ago, I would say Jay Lethal. But right now, he's like past his prime. Yeah. Not anything disrespecting, but it's just he's past there already.
He's old.
How many matches does he have left? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's old. Let's just say it. He's old.
My pick is New Day. I think New Day's going to retain it because if we think about it, if they lose it, where's Nakamura start with the titles? Just sit.
a rematch with him. That's pretty
Not
much
to
what it's going to end
mention-
up being.
Yeah, but
Not to mention, no, there's another way they can go with it. Honestly, there's one other way they can go with it. There's only one other direction they can go with this. Is if the New Day wins, they have to get attacked by Undisputed Era right after the match. And that's when they have to debut Undisputed Era. Or they do an open challenge and Undisputed Era answers a call at SummerSlam. That's the only way to do it at this point. And they're still trying to figure out what Undisputed Era, like,
they're trying to figure out who's going to come up because it's like one of those, like, I heard there's members in there don't want to go up to the main roster. The question is, they didn't report who, how many, and who they are that don't want to go up. So for all we know, it could be one or it could be two, maybe three. But I know it's not what's the name? It's not Adam Cole, because Adam Cole wants to go up. He wants to do the big matches.
Oh, look, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the Undisputed Era, I've stated this time and time again, and I'm going to continue to state it. As long as Kyle O'Reilly is protected, I'm good. Because Kyle O'Reilly is the greatest wrestler on the planet, and that's my dude.
Kyle O'Reilly would make an amazing U.S. or Intercontinental champion. I'll put it that way. Like, as much as I like Roderick Strong and AJ Styles are kind of in the same vein for me, where it's like, yeah, you guys are great, but you guys are also old, and it's starting to show.
Yeah, it is. And I thought they were going to replace Roderick Strong and stay like as a trio again. But I can see them probably going up. If, like, let's say Roderick Strong doesn't want to go up for whatever reason, I can see them having him go up temporarily and then kick him out to push him back down to NXT and replace him with somebody else. I don't know who, but I can see that happen.
I honestly, at this point, if you're gonna replace Roderick Strong, call me crazy, but this might have to be a DX situation. You gotta add a female. Like, you gotta add a female, because just adding another guy, to me, they're always going to be compared to the chemistry with Roderick Strong. It's not going to be new. It's not going to be fresh. It's like if you add a fourth member to the New Day, it's not. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, like, if you add a female to it, it creates a whole different dynamic.
As far as I'm concerned, the only female I ever want anywhere near the Undisputed Era isn't even in WWE. So,
yeah, Britt Baker would be the only one I see going in there.
Yep.
I mean, listen, there's still one woman that's in the Etherverse that there's no word on ever since she got released.
Bro, Blanchard?
Tessa Blanchard?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, that'd be one hell of a haymaker.
Yeah,
it would.
You want to talk about a haymaker like that? That's one of those that you want ratings, you want to pop, you want the whole world to stop. Where you have a SmackDown show and you want Twitter, Instagram, everybody to blow up and people to stop what they're doing to turn on. That's how you got to do it. Like, that's a Vince McMahon, like, invasion angle. Like, oh shit. Like, it just got real. Like, that's one of those moments where it's like, oh, wait, they did what? She's with who?
She's got baggage, bro.
That's it. That's the only issue.
So what? So what? You really think Vince can afford to be picky right now?
I don't think Vince cares. But
But here's the thing: she's got baggage, and can she get out of Mexico to come over here?
I forgot. She's still quarantined in Mexico.
Exactly. That's the thing.
What's she gonna jump on? Lucha Underground? Like, I'm sorry, that
you're done.
Unless Johnny Mundo goes back, like, Lucha Underground ain't gonna be nothing. I'm sorry. Not even Tessa Blanchard can save Lucha Underground right now.
All right.
But anyway, back to the card.
Eye for an eye match. Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins.
Jesus.
Can we just can Dominique just come out in ring gear already? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm really over this angle. I really am. I'm over this angle.
I think this is a way to
like
write off Rey completely out because they're using the whole. This is going to be a real eye for an eye match. They got heat for making an eye for an eye match after AEW had their eye for an eye match and all that. So this is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here. And because Ray's contract is over, and they're talking about how he's like kind of a free agent almost already. So it's like they're paying him for showing. So I think this is their way of like, we're going to write you off. You know, and maybe this is a drama. Oh, after when he comes like, I'm making my purchase. I have to finish my father's injury. So I think Rollins will win this match in this eye for an eye match. You know, and I think it's going to write off Mysterio.
All right, y'all got me back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. Somebody called me. I keep forgetting to put the phone in airplane mode before we start recording. As far as this goes, this is the match I have the single biggest problem with on the entire card. And I have another match on the card that I have a really, really big problem with. But this is the one that I'm like, this kind of tweaks me a lot. And it's WWE's penchant for booking stuff that they can't go through with. The way they're explaining this match is that you have to remove your opponent's eye in order to finish the match. That's the only way, quote unquote, to end it. All right? But this ain't Mortal Kombat. This ain't Halloween. This ain't Friday the 13th. All right? This is WWE. So you know only one of two things can happen. Either this match is going to end in a no contest, meaning somebody's going to run off and they're just going to end it and be like, oh, well, I don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to have to move on to the next segment. Or fake eyeball. And then what? Are you going to sit up there and you're going to...
Or it's partially pre-recorded. Like the ending could be pre-recorded, and they do like the cinematic thing where you see him rip his eye out, send it through like the props and all that other stuff and the camera angles, and that's the stuff you watch in the back, and it happens in the back. Like that's the only other way I could think of them doing it.
Yeah. I'm just saying my issue with it is WWE already asks you to suspend your disbelief to a certain point. This is beyond that, and I'm just like just get out of here with this nonsense. Stop doing this stupid shit. AEW did the eye for an eye thing with Jon Moxley, and Chris Jericho called them out on it.
Yeah.
Right afterwards. So I'm just like, listen, y'all got to stop with the nonsense because you know exactly what's going on. Like they're sitting up there just doing stuff for the sake of doing it because somebody else did it. Anyway, after my little rant, this kind of sort of has to be Rollins winning if there's an actual winner to the match. Like I said, I came back in the middle of Paul's explanation, and it's exactly the same thing. Mysterio don't have no contract right now. Now, granted, I do believe he's going to come back because he wants to be there and team with Dominic before he retires. But unless Seth is going to start taking time off right now to be with Becky, there's no reason for him to actually lose this match. And if he loses, you have to take him off TV because you can't have him walking around with an eye patch looking like Snake Plissken. Right?
You can't do the same mistake like you did with AJ Styles.
Yes. You can't kill a man like you did in the Boneyard match and then have him come back 2 or 3 weeks later with his hand stuck out of the dirt. Anyway, like I said, I got Rollins in this one. If like the only caveat is I honestly, because I had to make a pick, I'm picking Rollins. I do believe though that this is going to end in a no contest. I think somebody's going to run off.
Yeah, I heard that they had a CGI company to do the whole removal of the eye thing. People were like, "Why CGI? You could just use props. You're wasting more money on CGI." And you had the guy that made Bray Wyatt's mask. He's great at doing props. Why couldn't you just have him? No, you hired a company to do CGI and CGI it. So obviously the ending that they said is going to be like a cinematic ending because of the CGI. Okay, who do you got?
This one's tough. I mean, I think at least for right now, because it's not a major pay-per-view, it's going to be Seth. And again, I think it's a way to write off Dominic, but also kind of give over the mantle write off Ray, but give the mantle to Dominic, and then you have Dominic wrestle Seth at SummerSlam. Or you have a rematch between KO and Seth at SummerSlam. Like, it's one of those two for me. It's an Austin Theory.
Yeah, we lost Jay again.
Yeah, I heard Austin Theory.
That's what I said. What happened to Austin Theory?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I really don't know.
Like, it went from, like, it just looks awkward that you're supposed to be the Monday Night Messiah and you have one disciple. Like, Jesus had 12. If you're gonna sit up here and put your face on stained glass, you have one disciple. You sound like the dude in the freaking parking lot trying to sell his mixtape and calling yourself a rapper. Like, no. That's weird.
It was a good idea concept, but the AOP getting hurt again doesn't help. And then he's left with Buddy Murphy only. Then he pulled.
Then recruit more disciples.
Fine, Austin Theory is fine because he stood out and didn't make sense when he was with Andrade and Garza. It made no sense. But I was like, all right, well, really push him out, cool. So yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
Well, a prevailing thought that's going through the community right now as well is that Dominic is going to be the one that actually causes Ray to lose. He's going to turn heel on him, and he's going to become one of Seth's disciples. I don't necessarily like that, but it's out there.
I heard that was supposed to happen on the night of Ray's retirement speech. That was supposed to happen back then, so I don't know. I get it. I get people want that, but I don't see that being a thing for Dominic to start off his official career in WWE as, like that. I think to put him more like under Andrade and Garza and be in that stable and be protected.
To jump. I mean, also, how is it that he got to jump straight to the main roster and Simone Johnson is still out here not even working house shows?
Because
I don't understand. I don't understand this.
No training at all. He just started it. He's had some training already as it is. He's trained already before. The reason why Ray got in and signed back up is part of the agreement was Dominic could train at the performance center. Much up his performance more. I forgot where he was training, but I remember seeing Ray posting pictures of Dominic training like before he would turn with WWE. But he'd been training before. Simone just started training now. Yeah.
I was just curious about that. I'm like, how is it that this kid is like 19, 20? Like, the only thing that worries me is you look at somebody like Paige that got called up too early, and then she got a major neck injury before 25. Like, You don't see Dominic's style. You don't know what he's a bigger dude.
Yeah.
You can tell that. He's a bigger dude.
Paige.
So, like.
Go ahead. Sorry.
For me, it's just like, I don't know if you can protect someone who's that young in the style that they do in WWE. Like, you need someone who's a little more refined.
Yeah.
Or who has it's like Undertaker said, like, you need someone who has some more callus on them. Like, he's homeboy's still sipping Similac. Like, he can't even grow a beard yet. Like, bro, like, he might be nice. Like, I'm not saying he's not nice, but like, you're wrestling against dudes that are on average 32. Like, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt. Like,
yeah. But you have to remember too, with Paige, she's been wrestling since she was young, like a teen. So she had wear and tear at the age of 19. She already had wear and tear.
Again, we don't know how long this kid's been wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, I've been hearing stuff about him, like, getting work in when he was little, doing, like, the Eddie Guerrero storyline. He was getting some work in then. So you really don't know how long dude's been wrestling. he may not be on the circuit, he may not be under a name, but that doesn't mean he's not getting, behind the scenes. He's not actually like doing like the he's not helping other people out, like actually still taking bumps, still doing wrestling matches, still helping other guys and helping his dad back all the time. Like, you don't know what kind of damage he has on his body. But also, it's like, yo, he's also, 19, 20? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, are we going to have to wait 10 years for you to put a title on this kid? Like, that's my thing. It's like, even after Ray's gone, what do you do with him? Like, what do you do? Cool, you put him in a stable with Seth. How long is this stable with Seth going to work when Seth has to leave because he has to go be a dad? Then what do? He's going to be what, with Buddy Murphy? When you don't even want to push Buddy Murphy?
Yeah, makes no
sense.
Does it
make sense?
You don't even want to call him Buddy Murphy.
He's Buddy Murphy. We're not doing those one. Just like
he's Brazilian.
Andrade Cien Almas. It's not Andrade. It's Andrade Cien Almas. I don't care, bro. I don't care. I don't care. We not fitting to do this. Just like I'm not calling Aleister Black Aleister. Like, that's no.
No, it's not even that. That's too complicated. They're going to change his name to Al.
All right, let's continue on. Let's go to the first of the two women's title defenses. We'll start with Bayley versus Nikki Cross on this one. Benny, what are your thoughts on Bayley defending her title? Where do you see this?
Oh, okay. All right. This match is going to go one way and one way only, and that's Bayley retaining. I love the fact that you're getting somebody else in there to actually challenge her for the championship, because I'm honestly getting tired of seeing the Lacey Evans and the Carmellas over and over again. Mm-hmm. So I like the fact that you have somebody else in there to actually challenge for the title. However, there's a small issue here, and it's the fact that we've been teasing this breakup between Bayley and Sasha for so long that you have the perfect setup for it. And considering something that I heard about the Raw Women's Championship going forward, I honestly see it going in the way that I'm getting ready to describe. These matches, chances are, going to go back to back. I'm sitting up here looking at the list on WWE.com. That's how they have it. Those two matches are back to back. I honestly think that Sasha is going to help Bayley win. She's going to help her retain the championship. And then Bayley's going to attempt to help Sasha. And she's going to end up actually costing her the victory, which is going to cause the tension between the two of them. So you have both of my answers for the next two championship matches right there. You got Bayley retaining. You have Asuka retaining. And I'll tell you why Asuka retains when we get on that match.
Yeah, which will be next. If I knew you were gonna do that, I would have skipped you, so you can segue us into that. Jay, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, as much as I like Nikki Cross, I feel like face Nikki is not a champion Nikki. It's just she's just not like she's fun, she's cute. All that. Sanity Nikki would have been a great women's champion. This one, nah. Bayley's definitely gonna retain. Like it's actually kind of a joke now. The SmackDown Women's Division. Not gonna lie to you.
That's why
I also think Asuka's point exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I think Asuka definitely does retain, only in the sense of she literally just got the title, and then they teased on Raw Talk the Kairi Sane versus Asuka.
There you go.
That's what's going to be on the card for SummerSlam, and that's probably going to be Kairi Sane's like goodbye match.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and then of course you want the Sasha Banks versus Bayley final payoff thing, even though they really dragged this out for over a year, and
this has been going since 2017, bro.
Yeah, we wanted long-term booking. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
At this point, I don't see them breaking up right now because they got the tag titles. If they do, it'll be maybe at some point when they defend the tag titles and they lose it. whenever that could be. It could be sometime between now and SummerSlam.
Could be Monday.
You know, because at that point you can see, I can see Bailey defending against Sasha because Sasha's like, I had it with you, boom, boom, boom. I see Bailey also retaining. I could probably agree with you, Benny, where I could see Sasha coming in to help her. I also agree with Jaquan. I don't see Nikki as a champion or the main card champion. I could see as a mid card champion. You know, if WWE somehow came out with a women's mid card title belt. You know, but I mean that's asking for a lot. I'm sorry. You know, but yeah, I see.
Oh damn, Paul died now.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was just me. I must be like, all right, well, I got to keep moving because.
Yeah, man.
All right, I should be good now, right?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Anyway, like I said, the whole thing was there's two reasons why Asuka is going to retain in that situation. One is because Asuka, since winning the championship, has legitimately been dragged through the mud. She has lost way more than she's actually been able to win. And that's not Asuka. So Asuka needs a big victory to help solidify herself and to make the women's division on Raw as a whole look better. Because Sasha's still a SmackDown star. And granted, you know, it's kind of sort of like, okay, we're all in the performance center, but she's still a SmackDown star. It's not a good look when you don't have any challengers on your own brand to challenge for what is essentially still the original WWE Women's Championship.
Yep.
In this case, like, the other thing, like I said, that Jaquan brought it up was the Kairi Sane thing. Like, the thought now is the fact that Kairi Sane is going to challenge Asuka at SummerSlam, and that'll be Kairi's farewell if in fact Kairi does not re-sign, because they are offering her another contract.
She's not re-signing, bro.
I definitely see her leaving, but
she's not re-signing, bro.
I'm gonna tell you right now,
unless they do something like they did with Carl Anderson and Gallows, and it's like a 11th hour kind of deal. She's not. She's already said she wants to go back to Shimmer. She doesn't like how they treat the women. She doesn't like how things are going. And then also, like, you have women coming up the pipeline where it's like there's really no room for her to be dominant. Like, she's a clown gimmick.
Her other thing
on top of the fact, her husband.
Exactly. She just got
her husband's over there. She just got married.
Yeah.
So
we forgot that, Jay. That's the main.
I didn't know that.
That's no, bro. Come on now. That's the main reason she wants to go back. She just got married and she wants to be with her husband. So
who she got married to?
Japanese. I can't remember. The whole thing. What I've been hearing is that WWE is trying to make her like the ambassador for their Japanese brand, but the problem they're having is what's gonna happen with the whole this pandemic right now. Can they even afford to open like NXT over there in Japan right now?
The Japan isn't going to let them get a foothold over there anyway. But
yeah,
you know how you know how these companies are over here. They're just like, you know what, screw it, we're going to do it.
Yeah. Well, supposedly they're trying to buy a company over there already as it is, and trying to buy one out.
I thought they were trying to buy Shimmer, but it's not Shimmer. It's another company.
Oh, it's another company. I can't remember the name, but they're trying to buy them out and then build from there and go from there.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening too much. If they do, it's going to be a pet project, and they're going to like give it some time. They can't execute so quickly.
Listen, they can't even control the wrestlers in NXT UK. Like, at this point, they better just shut down that NXT Japan thing and try to go like Brazil or India. They can't control their UK people.
Nah, that UK stuff's been like that was stuff that happened before. I think they signed in.
Even
half
then,
their roster is fried. Like, no, like the brand is tainted at this point, which is probably why they haven't brought back Pete Dunne. Now, on top of the fact that he lives in the UK and they can't fly over here.
No, they can't fly.
Yeah, that's travel ban type thing. So
yeah. Plus, he has a family too.
Which again also sucks terribly, because like these are guys that you can insert into the main roster pictures and would make this view so much brighter. So much brighter.
Yeah. But let's continue. Oscar Sasha. I think we all agreed Oscar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although I would love to see Sasha win because, Sasha fan, but Oscar needs to win.
I mean,
Yeah.
if Sasha wins, it'd be great to see those two girls with all the women's belts.
All the belts.
Yeah.
They're already talking about it. I'm just like, are they going to repeat Undisputed Era with all the belts?
Yo, I need that, and then I need Bailey to get jealous that Sasha has just as many belts as she has and go challenge Io Shirai.
I can see Sasha being the one to do that, though.
I can see it. I can see that. Yeah, a belt for belt, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It would be interesting if you had Io with the NXT title and one of the Raw or SmackDown titles. That would be really interesting, especially because, again, everything's shooting in the same place, so it's not like you have to worry about travel restrictions at all.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I do also look at it like it would strengthen the NXT women's division that much more. If you come out and Io Shirai is freaking the Raw Women's Champion and the NXT Women's Champion.
Yep. Especially being that she won it in the way that she did, being that she's NXT Women's Champion and then won the Raw title rather than being Raw Champion and then winning NXT title. Because it seems like a downgrade that way.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the Drew McIntyre Dolph Ziggler, which has a stipulation that yet to be determined, which will be probably announced during the broadcast. Jay, what do you think?
I think Dolph Ziggler is becoming what Undertaker used to be. When, like, if I need a guy to come in and make this work for me because somebody else got hurt. All right, let's call Dolph. Just call Dolph real quick. We'll send him a script. He'll be here in a week. We'll be fine. That's what this feels like. They just happen to have history. And, like, considering this was supposed to be Jinder Mahal, it's just like, all right, Dolph. Like, I hate to say I'm tired of Dolph as, like, a career, but I'm kind of tired of Dolph as, like, in general. Just, he has literally nothing else to do. There's nothing else for him to win outside of, like, making him King of the Ring or doing Money in the Bank again.
I wouldn't like them. I don't want him anywhere near King of the Ring because they're just going to do the same thing they did with Corbin.
But that's the thing. It's like at least it would give him something to do instead of randomly throwing him into the title picture like he's John Cena and can elicit that kind of respect.
Mm-hmm.
But since now they no longer have Big Match John, because for those who didn't know, his contract officially expired like 2 days ago.
No, John Cena AEW confirmed.
So John Cena is no longer officially a member of the WWE roster. Like, all they have now is Dolph, unfortunately.
All right.
So it's like
Jaquan, Dolph
he's not that big of a threat. It's just I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre. He's irrelevant.
Benny?
I honestly think I'm more interested in what the stipulation is going to be than I am the actual match.
Mm-hmm.
Just because this is a placeholder to me. It's just a placeholder. It's just we need to get through Extreme Rules, so let's put somebody in there, since this is the only World Championship match we have on the card. Well, for the men, sorry.
Oh, no, you got the other one too.
No, you don't. That's not a Universal title match.
Wow.
It's not a title match?
Nope.
Great booking, guys. Phenomenal booking.
That is a non-title match as the main event.
Wow.
But getting back to it, like I'm looking at it, and it's honestly just a case of we needed a placeholder. We needed somebody to think or feel somewhat credible, and we already pretty much blew our Lashley card. So we're gonna throw Dolph Ziggler in there, just to get us through Extreme Rules and get us to Royal Rumble, where Randy Orton should be waiting to screw up everything.
Well, I mean, too, it's also the fact that Jinder Mahal got hurt. because this was supposed to be Jinder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a placeholder. So in order to move on and get through, because I could have seen the Jinder Mahal feud actually going for a couple of months.
Yeah.
However, like I said, Dolph Ziggler, the only what history did the two of them have besides the whole Dogs of War thing? And when Drew got called up, he was just there.
Mm-hmm. That's really it. I mean, they have some stuff back from like the end of the Ruthless Aggression era, but that's about it.
That wasn't even Drew McIntyre. That was Drew Galloway. Two completely different people.
Never mind. Forgot about that one. My bad.
But yeah, I was like, this is, as much as I like Drew McIntyre or whatever, I've never been less excited for a match with him. It's just like, what am I waiting for with this one? This is a McIntyre.
I would have rather them built up Big E and it been Big E. Like
I would have liked to have seen that. I would have liked to have seen. Even if it was something like not like blood feud related, if it was just like, yo, how they did the Keith Lee Dijakovic thing on Wednesday, where it was just like, yo, well, it wouldn't be exactly the same thing, but the thing out of respect.
I mean, they could have literally done a 6-pack challenge, or they could have. I don't care if people are tired of gauntlet matches. Give me another gauntlet match, but just give me different people.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been great for Big E to win a gauntlet match. That would have been different.
Man, see, here's the thing. I don't care if it's Drew versus Big E. Just to have Big E there is the thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, Drew's going to win, but it's great to see Big E. It's great to give these guys a little bit of a shine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's my whole thing. You could have had Big E. You could have had Jey Uso. Like, you could have had guys that aren't going to win. But let's just see what they have as singles competitors. Like, let's just see what they're like. Big E has an Intercontinental title reign under his belt. He was the second NXT champion in history. So it's like Big E's got some credentials. Like, let's not act like Big E's not an accomplished single star.
Yeah, he could wrestle. He could do his thing.
That's what I'm saying. Let Big E get back to angry Big E for like 2 seconds. Let him get a little nasty, get a little dirty, and let him have a good straight up brawl with Drew McIntyre for Extreme Rules and make it an Extreme Rules match. Where Kofi's trying to like stop Big E from snapping, and Big E kind of snaps a little bit. Like, let Big E get angry and show some emotion.
That could technically go somewhere, especially considering like they're kind of sort of doing that with the War Raiders right now too. Although, like I said, that may have just been that one segment when they had it with the Big Show the other week.
Yeah.
But they did the same thing with them. The Big Show slapped shit out of them, and they was just like, listen, when we get out there, it's all war.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you could have also done, like, say you want to do just for continuity's sake. Like, you brought up Big E. Yeah, he's been treated like shit recently, but I'll bring up Kofi. Kofi, I believe you deserve a shot at your the title you lost a little while ago because you haven't been in a match for it since.
I mean, yeah, but also now that you said that, it would have been dope again if you have a random gauntlet match and you actually don't announce who the people are, and like you have people that you tell them to anonymously sign up, and the people are anonymously going to get picked, and you have a situation where you have Kofi going through the gauntlet, and the last person is Big E.
Yep.
And you have Big E, you have Kofi put over Big E.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have minded that.
I wouldn't mind either way. It's just a matter of, like I said, there was a ton of stuff you could have done.
Not to mention, doesn't Otis still have the briefcase?
Otis said,
where's Otis? Where's Otis? Where's Tucker?
Otis is a face though. Otis is a face though. He's not going to cash in on the face.
In terms of those gauntlet match situations, like, you can throw guys in there that you can kind of give some kind of singles credit to, even though you don't plan on pushing them as single stars, because you need a placeholder instead of just like, hey, Dolph Ziggler. And it's like, we've seen this before. Give us something that we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because like that's the problem. We don't even know who's on the SmackDown roster at this point because we keep seeing the same people.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's been an issue, and that's a Vince issue because of the fact like he has the most talented roster he's had in years ever.
Doesn't know how to use them.
And you have people that are sitting behind the scenes ain't doing jack.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's crazy that his mid card is more interesting right now than the main card. Like the whole Matt Riddle, Baron Corbin, AJ Styles thing, that's interesting.
Well, look at it this way.
At the very least, it's interesting.
The talent that he released in April, that's a good talent pool that he released.
Yeah.
You can't sleep on anybody that he released. That's all good talent that he released in April.
Mm-hmm.
And that's people that weren't doing nothing. And you still have more people that aren't doing nothing because he doesn't know how to write for them. And we say Vince, everybody, because it's Vince. No matter what the writers do, he's gonna come up like half an hour before the show starts, crumple it up, and write what he wants.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous now because it's like, again, you still got guys like Mojo Rawley. Again, none of these guys, all these guys are what we consider lower middle card guys, but you put them in a gauntlet match and you give these guys time to wrestle, like really, really wrestle. And you don't know what's going to happen. Because, again, Drew McIntyre is such a new kind of concept for them to play with because he's not an established star that you can have him wrestle some lower or mid-card guys and have the matches be great. And then you give those guys a rub for future mid-card title runs.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that, especially at an Extreme Rules match. Like, Extreme Rules is not even really a wrestling match. You just have them straight up do an Extreme Rules match, and you just have guys just straight up brawl. Like, imagine a Big E that's like, he'll be a face whatever after this, but a nice little heel run for an angry Big E.
You actually brought up a good one. Mojo Rawley at Extreme Rules in like a tables match or a ladders match against Drew would have been because of the fact, the energy that Mojo Rawley and how he wrestles would have been on an Extreme Rules.
And he's a heel.
Yes.
He's a heel, and he's not bad on the mic. Like,
nah.
He's for the hype bros. He was the mic. Like,
yeah,
he was a dude that actually got you hyped to watch the hype bros.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, listen, Mojo on the mic, like, that's an Intercontinental Champion down the road. But if you let him get a nice rub from Drew now, then it's like, okay, maybe he can show you something.
Yeah, we all know.
Like, you could have gone 12 different directions with this thing, and you bring back Dolph Ziggler, who wants to be a comedian and wants to be a CNN correspondent. Like, stop bringing this man back. Let this man live his dreams. He's bled for you already. He put his body on the line for you. Let that man breathe.
Was in a spirit squad for you.
That's what I'm saying. He was a male cheerleader for you, Vince. Let this man live. Let him live his life. Let him get back his dignity. Please. Leave him alone.
All right, let's go to the main event. In a non-title match. Non-title match. It's the cinematic match, the swamp match between Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman.
So you mean the what's it called when it was the WrestleMania freaking House of Horrors match, just
Pretty
done
much.
right? It's literally going to be a mix of the House of Horrors match and that thing that was Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy. I don't even know what that was. But essentially, this is going to be a merger of those two.
I think I believe this might be better than that. I think this would be like on the level of Bray Wyatt, John Cena.
No, it's not.
It won't surpass.
They don't have nearly enough to work with.
It won't surpass.
And Braun Strowman is not nearly as good an actor as John Cena.
No, I get you, but I'm saying in the concept of where Bray Wyatt wants to take this, where he's going to go with it. You know what I'm saying?
At this point, if they can't find a lookalike, a la Undertaker versus Undertaker, this match is a bust. Like that's what I'm expecting at this point. If they have a segment where they have like a Braun Strowman body double that wrestles Braun Strowman at some point in the match, then I will be satisfied. Other than that, this is a joke.
After the fake Eric Rowan, I don't want to see any more body doubles.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
hear me out, though. Like, the Black Sheep Braun Strowman versus, like, the Braun Strowman now would be interesting. Because essentially, Bray Wyatt right now is a glorified pearl bearer. Like, that's how they're kind of booking this.
I mean,
with the effects. Because, again, I don't think they want Braun Strowman to fight The Fiend. So I don't even know if The Fiend's going to come out at this point. Because then that means Braun Strowman has to lose the title.
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's no yet.
Not yet.
It shouldn't happen. Period. Putting the title back on The Fiend would be dumb.
It's going to happen, though.
The only way I think that this could remotely happen, and it should remotely happen, is if you bring Aleister Black back from Raw and you put him on SmackDown. And that's the angle you're going to go with it. Because if you don't have The Fiend face another dark character and you just have him basically torment people, after like the third match, it's going to get boring.
Well,
not to mention he doesn't have history with anybody else. Like, who else is there for him to play with?
I don't know. I think he's killed everybody already.
Yeah.
He can face Dolph Ziggler, though, out of nowhere. Sarcasm. No,
Jay isn't frozen. Jay is not frozen.
I was like, I think I broke Jay.
If I hear Dolph Ziggler last minute ever again, I might just pull a Rikishi on freaking Stone Cold Steve Austin and drive up there myself.
Yep. And then when they
For the
question
love of
you,
God, let Dolph free. Free Dolph.
When the cops question you, like, I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people.
I did it for the people. We want no more fake Shawn Michaels. But yeah, Drew obviously has to win. This next match, like, I don't even know if there's going to be like an ending, like a winner to this match. If that makes sense. Like, I don't know if there's actually going to be a winner. Like, I feel like this is going to be a no contest in a way. I could see Strowman hitting him with like a running power slam, lights go out, and then he disappears. You just hear, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the and then he starts doing that crap, and it's like, all right, and then it just goes off.
The one thing that this not being a title match does is it actually gives Bray a chance to win. It does throw some doubt in there because the idea is that Strowman is going to go through essentially the new three faces of Foley being Mr. Rogers Bray, Cult Leader Bray, and then finally The Fiend. If they start to do Bray Wyatt like they were doing Balor before, where The Fiend is only going to show up in situations where the Demon will show up, I could see that a little bit better, right? And that's kind of sort of where I think they're going with this. So, in my mind, like I said, the fact that it's not a title match means that there's going to throw some doubt in there, but I still think Strowman is going to win. And with that, I'm going to go with the idea that he's going to believe that he's finally rid himself of Bray Wyatt until basically Bray comes out and he's just like, all right, you woke The Fiend up. Now it's time, to get your ass handed to you. And then that's where he's going to get the belt back. I'm just like, he should have never had it before, but taking it off of him was also a mistake. So I'm just like, whatever. They got to do something at this point right now. Right now, that's the only thing I could think they're even pointing to. So Strowman with the victory.
I think because it's a non-title match, I could see Bray winning this. And like I said, I feel it's gonna be something like the John Cena match, where they're gonna mess with his head. He's gonna lose in a non-title match, and he's gonna be like, "Who am I now?" Like in a loss phase, and he'll fight somebody else. He'll win, but he won't be as dominant. So it'll be like something that kind of mess with his head, his psyche, and he won't be as dominant. But he'll be like confused for a bit. That's where I see that where they might go. Hopefully they go, because now you see like a broken Braun Strowman.
The only other way I could see this thing going, like if he was to win, because like I said, I do believe the ultimate end to this has to be Strowman versus Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
Is say Wyatt wins the match. And for instance, he has this idea or he has this mindset like Bray messed me up in the head, and he goes overboard the next time he sees Bray and just completely obliterates the man. And Bray feels like, okay, my former brother did this to me. It's payback time. But that makes Bray the sympathetic type. And he's supposed to be the heel in this situation. And I'm just like, no.
I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't feel like they'll do that because of that, because you can't have a sympathetic heel. The way I see it going is, I see if Braun loses, but Bray messes with his head, and you get like this Braun that's no longer this like beast anymore. He's like kind of been like, he's confused, he's lost, he doesn't know what to do. And you have like another match, and I think that's where the Fiend comes in and just obliterates and destroys him.
Well, again, I still think it's either going to be a no contest, or I think Bray wins via disqualification, because Braun just loses it. Because again, they never said this match was no disqualification. They never said it was Extreme Rules.
Right.
You don't know what the rules are.
Right. But see, here's my thing. How long can you have Braun as this dominant force and then continue even if he loses the belt? You can't hold on to that for too long.
Big Show's been a dominant force for how long? Mark Henry was a dominant force for how long? Like, that doesn't...
So hold on. They have been, but how many times have they been holding the titles and then lost it with shenanigans?
For what it's worth, Braun, honestly, if we want to call him a dominant force, hasn't really been that much of a dominant force.
No.
Because if you think about it, before WrestleMania, because he won the title at WrestleMania, and he was honestly thrown into the match when Roman Reigns stepped out. The pay-per-view before that, he lost the Intercontinental title to Sami Zayn.
To free him up for WrestleMania.
For WrestleMania, yeah.
Yeah, because he was the backup plan.
Yeah. But here's the thing. It's like, and that's the problem, is that's what they screw up a little bit. But the thing is, they always call him this dominant figure. And the thing is, you can't, that's a hard thing when you put on somebody, when you build them up so much, and you, like the Warrior. That was the issue with the Warrior. When the Warrior was out, and I remember watching it, they built him up to be like dominant. He would destroy his opponents in like 2 minutes or whatever. Then when he beat the Honky Tonk Man, he destroyed the Honky Tonk Man like in like 5 minutes. It was crazy when he won that belt. When he lost to Rude, he lost because shenanigans, because of Bobby Heenan. They cheated. They held his foot. He couldn't kick out, whatever. Cool. Then he made this whole run, and then, for Hogan and the belt, all that stuff. So when Warrior had those belts, it was hard to make him lose because you built him up to be this like dominant force. And that's the same thing they've done with Braun in this instant, because he beat Brock. You have him as his dominant force. So it's like you have to.
He beat Goldberg. He didn't beat Brock.
Oh,
yeah, he beat Goldberg.
Sorry, Goldberg. Damn it. It was Drew that beat Brock. So you have to find a way to weaken him, which is what I'm thinking they should be doing in this match, to weaken him in order for the Fiend to beat him, and then you switch his character around for a bit. You take him away from being his dominant force again. Because think about this. You have also on the card, you have to wait for what's his name? What's that guy? What's that guy's name? Oh, I forgot his name now. NXT, they put him away because he had like that anxiety issues.
Oh, Lars Sullivan.
Lars Sullivan.
You got Lars Sullivan still trying to come back.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody want him there.
He also has porn
your
issues.
time was you have a very limited window to do that stuff, and it's like, no, you're done. Bye.
What'd you say, Benny?
I said there's also the issue of the porn that he did.
Yeah, but look at how much time has passed.
So what?
And
your man can't sit in the ring. Like,
there's also the racism.
Yeah, there's the big issue of racism. Right. So I mean, if you're gonna bring him back, that means you're gonna forgive everything that Dream did. That's still speculation at this point. Because Dream is also not doing anything either.
Yeah, I think they're trying to keep him off of TV for that, but that's a lot more fresh.
I mean, yeah, that's they're trying to wait for that to cool down. And granted, but I mean, like, for me, it's like, all right, Big Show, guys like Big Show and Mark Henry both lost to a guy like John Cena. The only John Cena-esque character that's there is Roman Reigns. He's probably not coming back till next year. So you have one of two choices here. Again, you could have Braun snap and have Bray win by disqualification. And then snapping, the thing with The Fiend is that The Fiend is what happens when Bray Wyatt snaps and when Bray Wyatt breaks. So it's almost like his broken form, if you will. In order to do that, you have to physically beat him down. So let Braun physically beat him down. It's very simple.
It is, but...
And then you still have another guy. You have a guy like Sheamus. You have a Jeff Hardy. You have those guys trying to build themselves back up. And if it gets to the point where it's The Fiend versus Braun Strowman at SummerSlam, make it a disqualification and just write The Fiend off like you always do. Like, you don't have to put the title back on The Fiend. It's not a necessity. If anything, it's the wrong thing to do. Because at that point, you have a guy like Strowman, unless Strowman's going to take an extended period of time off, a la Seth Rollins kind of period of time off. How do you write Braun off TV? You can't.
You have to break.
So The Fiend winning, if The Fiend were to beat Strowman straight up, you would have to write Braun off TV.
You have to.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that right now because you are already short on staff. You're already barren of stars.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way to make Braun lose but keep him strong is to have him beat the piss out of Bray Wyatt and then have shenanigans happen at SummerSlam when he faces The Fiend. It's the only way that's going to work. Because you can't weaken Braun, because if you weaken Braun, who else is there? Nobody. You cannot at this point weaken Braun because you don't have a backup plan. Like, Braun is playing D right now.
Yeah, but go ahead, Benny. Go ahead.
I just thought of something that's not on this, but there was a match that was supposed to be on there that was never confirmed, and that was Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus, the bar fight.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. I was gonna say is I know you don't want to weaken Braun, but you have to. I feel you have to weaken him somehow in order to even if it's against The Fiend, to make some kind of transition happen. I see it in my head, but the way Vince is, I just don't see how he's gonna work it out. Because he goes so many different ways. But
you have to build another threat. Like, that's the thing. You need another. The main event scene is so.
It doesn't have to be. The way I look at it is this: Bray wins. He weakens. He messes with Braun's head. Braun is still physical, but he's not as dominant as he's been like in these last matches with everybody. So he'll still win. But he won't be like killing people like he did with John Morrison or anything like that. So he'll still win. But you'll notice a difference in like, okay, what's going on with Braun? Like, he's not the same since he lost to Bray Wyatt and he messed with his head. He hasn't been the same. Like, going off of that story. So then and then Bray comes back and he's like, oh, I'm back and I brought a friend because, whatever. Now I want a title match. You can even have Braun win the title, But what I want to see for this story to continue, and then have like little pockets on the side, is Braun has to be fractured. Braun has to be fractured. That way, when Bray Wyatt comes in with the Fiend, it's like easy pickings.
I don't know.
Now, see, what I see that Paul is trying to say is he wants some type of character development for Braun. The thing is, in my mindset, the way I want this to go, if in fact, like I said, this is the way they're going to go, is I want Braun as high as he can possibly be before he faces the Fiend. That way, you get Braun at his best, absolutely his hottest, his no excuses whatsoever. And the Fiend come in and just like wipe the floor with him, and it's just like, oh my God, the Fiend is back.
But then my question is, after that, not to quote Goldberg, but who's next?
Me. Put him right in the sharpshooter.
Or who next for the Fiend?
I mean, considering you're probably about 3-4 inches shorter than him, he probably got you by like 20, 30 pounds. I don't see that happening. I really don't.
Ooh. All right.
Huh?
I'm gonna go with Bray winning, but I think it's gonna be by disqualification.
I got Strowman.
I got Braun winning, but I think Bray's gonna like fracture him mentally. That's the way I see it.
So what's gonna happen is, you think that Braun's gonna win, but Bray's gonna kick him in the shin.
Basically.
Pretty much.
Into the match, he's gonna run up and kick him right in the shin and then run off.
Or something.
Or either that.
What would be actually really cool is if they found a way to introduce Sister Abigail. And Abigail has something really like a thing with Braun that we didn't know about. But then like they show like Abigail blessing Braun and bringing him in and blah, blah, blah. And then you reveal Abigail at the same time. That would be cool.
And who will be Abigail?
But I doubt they're going to do that. At this point, because they're already using Scarlet. Dakota Kai already has a Kobe match with Io Shirai. Good try, though.
I know. I'm just sitting up here just throwing stupid names out. I'm not being serious.
It would have to be someone that's just in the back not being used that we haven't seen.
It'd be the biggest oddball choice of all. It'd be like Carmella.
Xylee.
Whoa, leave her out of this.
That would be hilarious if it was Xylee.
Wow, so wrong.
That would be weird. But
before we close this out, there was a couple of things that we didn't go over. What do we think the stipulation is going to be for this McIntyre-Ziggler feud or match?
I don't know. You can only wrestle me with the wiffle ball. I don't know.
It might be like a lumberjack handicap situation, something like that. Like you have to pin me and my partner at the same time, kind of something.
I honestly think it's going to be something really, really, really stupid. Like either he's going to ban the Claymore, or he's going to go back. Paul, I'm sure you remember this. Do you remember when William Regal was wrestling by the Duchess of Queensberry rules?
I vaguely remember this.
No, I don't remember that.
When, as he was wrestling, he would change the rules mid-match and say, okay, now this is, yeah. It's got to be something like that, or he's banning the Claymore, or it's like if you get disqualified, you also lose the title. It's going to be something completely ridiculous.
I mean, again, there's been no build up to it.
No,
so,
right.
like, there's not even anything in the build up that can give you a hint, and that's a part of the problem.
Yeah. They're just terrible. They're terrible like that. Terrible.
Yeah, no, it's so poorly written, it's almost laughable.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. The only other thing we got on there is Hardy Sheamus. Like, if that match actually happens, who y'all got?
Sheamus.
I think this has to end, and I'm thinking Hardy.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the only issue with it ending with Hardy winning is, do we know when Hardy's contract expires?
No idea.
Because
but I figure Sheamus needs to give him his win back right now. Yeah.
Well, I'm only looking at it in the sense of Matt's already speaking out about it. Jeff wasn't 100% comfortable about the angle. Like, there's already some discord there already.
That's why I was saying, if they want to actually keep him around, you might want to actually start to repair that and stop playing around with people going through, actual, situations and shit like that.
I mean, I could see Hardy winning, and I guess that would make sense in a way, because then it would put him, I guess, right in AJ Styles' path, because now AJ
needs
Styles
his vindication, and then he can go back to that.
Yeah. Plus, he does kind of need that gimmick change a little bit.
Jeff's contract was supposed to expire on the 1st of March. Because of his knee injury, it was extended.
Okay.
So when?
And that knee injury had him out for 6-7 months. He was out for a minute.
Yeah, he was out for a while. I'm trying to read how long out there, but it just says it says here, Jeff Hardy's WWE contract was set to expire on March 1st. However, his contract was extended due to missed time from a knee injury. So he was out for a while because of that knee.
Because if I remember correctly, what happened was they won the tag titles after WrestleMania last year, and then he got hurt.
So maybe another 6 months added to that, which would set him up to.
That would put him up in September.
Yeah, the beginning of September. So, I mean, which means he would only have like a month left. So, like, do you give him the win? Do you hope he extends? Because right now, again, his brother's off in AEW. Impact is trying to sign whoever, wherever they can.
Here's the other question. Do you want him to go to AEW?
Yeah, that's the.
Are you willing to let him do that?
Are you willing to let literally one of the most legendary tag teams get yet another tag title under the belt?
Right.
I mean,
do you want to give AEW the highlight of the Hardy Boys versus the Young Bucks?
Yep. Like, do you want, like, again, Ring of Honor already had it. Do you want that on national TV, on a pay-per-view that people are actually going to watch? Like,
WWE can try, and they're going to throw all the money away, but I think Jeff is already pissed with all this. I don't think the money's going to be an issue no more. I think now it's going to be more of like, what do I do to advance my legacy, cement more of my legacy?
And the only thing there is a world title, honestly.
He already had the world title.
I know, but he's only he has the WWE title and he has the world title, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm saying
the only thing that can cement it is if he has another good title run.
He's not gonna get one.
Exactly. And the only title he hasn't won is the Universal title.
And I think there's a mid-card title he didn't win.
No, he's won. He's won them all except that one. He's won both of them.
So he's a
Grand Slam, Triple Slam, Quadruple Slam, damn champion. Like, he's literally, I think the only thing he hasn't won was like a King of the Ring. He's won everything. King of the Ring and a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, because the only one I actually had a question about was the U.S. title, but I believe he did win that one.
He won that when he first came back.
Yeah.
Before Matt came back. So
he's
won every
got
title.
them all except the Universal.
Yeah, you can't give him a title unless you're going to give him the Universal title. So, like, what do you offer him at this point outside of creative integrity? And they've already thrown that down the toilet.
Yep.
He's a 3-time world champion, 4-time WWE Intercontinental champion, 1-time U.S. champion, 1-time SmackDown Tag Team champion. Yeah, he's got them all.
He's got everything.
Yeah.
He already has that. Like, you can't give him another title.
There's nothing they can give him. So
all they can offer him is more money, but then you've already literally embarrassed him on TV about a hit and run situation. You've had him throw piss in someone else's face. Like
brought up his DUI, his alcohol, his
DUI, his alcoholism. Like
that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to honestly, in my opinion, I don't think he's going to resign because I think Matt's already said like, hey, finish your contract, come to AEW with me. Let's bring the Hardy Boys. Let's do what we do here with them. Because have you seen AEW? Have you seen FTR?
Yeah,
bro.
Even though I heard FTR is in hot water right now too.
Yeah, but I'm looking more on the wrestling side.
Yeah, no, they've been wrestling the way they wrestled back in NXT.
Yeah, and they're doing some good stuff. And with the Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers and Blade and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Blade and the Butcher.
Blade and Butcher. That was some good matches right there for FTR. You know, it's just interesting that they have them as faces right now. But I could see.
I don't like it.
You have too many.
I don't like it.
But
that's what it is. Is AEW has a lot of really good heels. They don't have a lot of baby faces.
Yeah, and I was upset because they made the Lucha Brothers heels. I'm like, you don't need them as heels. Like they could be faces.
They're pretty good heels. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're pretty good. They're pretty good heels.
They are, but like there's so many other heels out there. You know what I'm saying? Like you can let them be faces for a while. And I can see. I'd rather see FTR as heels, not faces.
No, I agree with that portion of it.
You know,
for sure.
So Blade.
Well, if they mess around and allow Jeff Hardy to leave and end up in AEW, then you're probably going to end up with FTR's heels. Because at that point, you have the ultimate face team.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, I think the Hardy Boys own their own, their names and that whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's not like they
we know how WWE is petty about names and stuff. Cough, cough. Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. And they just re-upped on that one, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, because Cody tried to get it, and they was just like, no, they refiled for it.
Yeah.
You're a real thought for that one, but okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I need to head on out because I have to walk this dog real quick. That's what that phone call was about earlier.
Life problems.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in the next show. We'll see about going live. We're gonna talk about going live every once in a while or when we can on Facebook Live with our shows.
We'll try.
But, catch me in the truck.
We will try. We'll see if we can make that happen. All right. Thanks for joining us. Till next time. Peace out.
Peace.